Mannion giggling, and the Aggies control the opening tip. And M State shot 41% Thursday, 9 of 30 from 3. They were really good defensively again. Lob goes to Wilkins, and he tips.
Beginning of the game, they come out with a well-executed play.
Utah Valley averaging 87 per game in their previous 3. Here's the Xavier transfer, Brandon Randolph. On the baseline, Akulda Mannion. Inside, outside for Aggies. Around the horn it goes to Randolph again. Under 10 to shoot for the Wolverines. Randolph on a step back.
Been to Duke, they've been to Kentucky, but this is the biggest game of the year for them.
Yeah, they called it the toughest 24 hours in college basketball. Utah Valley opened their season on back-to-back nights at Kentucky and at Duke. Drop both games. Jamario Jones rims in the jumper.
Just about his limit as far as shooting range.
Hand off to Connor Toolson. Randolph into the belly of Aggies, transfer in from Utah.
Crazy during the 30 when they broke the 39-game win streak.
And that was the play to open up the game. Jamario Jones to Jonathan Wilkins. Jones does so many things well, Coach, and one of those things is pass the ball well.
That's right. He leads the Aggies in assists.
Also averages a double-double, 10 points, 11 rebounds per game. He floats it for Jonathan Wilkins, working on Mannion here in the low block. Wilkins going to his left hand. He's a left-hander, tipped up and in. New Mexico State raced out to a 17-2 lead on a Thursday. Good start again tonight. Connor Toolson, a sharpshooter from Highland, Utah. Back out to Aggies on the arc. Here's Jake Toolson, the second cousin of Connor, and are cousins. And now they're on the same collegiate team.
And John Wilkins nudges him a little. It's a tough matchup for John Wilkins, who's usually
85% free throw. Should Toolson household somewhere?
I would have waited inside.
All-time leading scorer at Utah Valley. They can play hoops in the Toolson family, that's for sure. Zach Lofton averaging 20 per game, the WAC Player of the Week. Outside Endier. Bingo.
The Aggies came out of the gate. They stormed out of the gate.
50 first made 3, second best in the WAC.
Just a very quick release, gets into a shot, and very smart about when to take it.
Low post again, some touches early for Wilkins. More low post touches than we're used to for Jonathan Wilkins, it seems like, Coach.
Well, I like when the Aggies go to him early because I think he's such a good passer.
3:20 in. NM State ahead by a half dozen against Utah Valley here in the WAC Game of the Week. Jake Toolson, a little fake. Cleared away by Jamario Jones, who bursts out of the pack. Finds Lofton in transition. Utah Valley wants to play fast. They want to have a lot of possessions. That's what Mark Pope has brought to the table in Orem, Utah. A high-powered, potent offense. On the roll, Mannion.
The mismatch, he just couldn't get the ball inside to Mannion.
Lofton working on Jake Toolson.
Players who can go get his own shot and go up over the defender on his own without a screen. And boy, Zach Lofton can sure do that.
Lob goes to Mannion. Help was late. The Aggies playing fast right now as well. Jones posting up Aggies. Jones on the fake. Handoff, shot at the... Ball screen from Mannion. Aggies on the stutter. Banks it.
Banked it in.
Aggies averaging 14 per game, scored 17 Thursday at UTRGV. Lofton guarded by Connor Toolson. Around the horn to Endier. Another post touch for Jones. The skip out in the corner. Offensive Wilkins, handoff Lofton, bounces off Mannion. The tip is in.
Key to Jamario. He's not the greatest leaper in the world, but he's so smart around the basket and can find the seams and get in between the seams of the defense. Now, don't forget against Seattle, Adam, the Aggies got off to a great start, and Seattle slowly came back as the game went on. This one's far from over.
Manyang short again. Jamario Jones saves it to Aggies, who steps in for three. Pinball. It's been a slow start so far for the big fella. Akulda Manyang, transfer in from Oklahoma. No points, 0 of 2 shooting in close range. Lead is 11 for the Aggies. We have not had a stoppage in 4 minutes. Jamario Jones for three. He has some trays. Randolph to Aggies. Back out to Randolph. Smothering perimeter D for the Aggies again today. Jake Toulson in the key. Takes left, goes. Utah Valley has a ton of BYU transfers. Their head coach, Mark Pope, used to coach there, and it's about a 2-minute drive from Orem to Provo. And New Mexico State off to an 18-9 start. 12:40 left, first half. It's the WAC Game of the Week. Before that, was in for Utah Valley. In fact, 2 subs. Jarrell DeBerry and Isaac Nielsen in for Utah Valley. Sean Buchanan and Johnny McCants in for the first time for New Mexico State. Randolph, who had 12 assists on Thursday, hands it off to Connor Toulson for the foul line. His jumper's too long. So much success with a lot of new faces. Chris Giant in his first year. Mark Pope has brought in a ton of transfers at Utah Valley. Nielsen guarding Eli Chua, who scored 14 Thursday. DeBerry to Connor Toulson. Now Jake Toulson. Nielsen can shoot it from 3. He shot. You were talking earlier, Coach, about how all these players for New Mexico State really understand their role. And one of those guys is Sean Buchanan, who catches here on the wing, knows he's not the scorer, but he does a lot of other things well. And State by a dozen. Aggies have won 5 in a row. Utah Valley's won 8 straight. Early first half in Las Cruces, and really exploded in half 2.
I think that's right.
Minutes in the first half, so Hadley had to play some minutes, and he made 2 threes off the Aggie bench in the first 20 minutes on Thursday. Step in 3 for Aggies.
Well, that may be a good sign for New Mexico State if Aggies doesn't get untracked like he did last year.
Randolph pushing for the Wolverines in green. Aggies hard of the rim in his play today. Keon Jones is in for the first time for New Mexico State this afternoon. He catches on the sideline here. Slips it down low for Chua. Manyang is on the bench for the Wolverines.
Well, that's what happens when your head coach has 7 years of NBA experience. He can teach the big. That's perfect defense by Isaac Nielsen.
Randolph triggers. Randolph, one of the transfers who was here last year for Utah Valley. Kenneth Agbee's another. Wraparound pass. Chua jams it in.
You could get the ball to him there. You sort of looped it around. And if he can do more of that, it's really going to make the Aggies hard to guard.
Like Zach Lofton is, that'll attract the defense to you and leave other guys open.
That's right. It keeps the defense from double teaming Lofton, which happens quite a bit. There he is again with a nice pass.
McCants for Chua. Keon Jones left open. McCants bats it out to Sean Buchanan.
Just a nice little loop pass from Zach Lofton. Made Eli Chua look good.
Team foul number 4 in Utah Valley, the first on Randolph. And M State has built a 12-point lead. Wolverines have not led today. Keon Jones, transfer in from Odessa JUCO. Now City Endier. Aggies staying patient, under 10 to shoot. Bench. And we'll see what Mark Pope does here. You would have to think he's going to bring in Nielsen, right? He won't. He's going to let Mannion play with 2 personals. Mannion averaging 14 and 9. He's also the best shot blocker in the WAC.
Well, Mark Pope's also going to give the official an earful there on the. He's not out of control, but he's expressed.
Toulson. Ogby back out to Connor Toulson. Now to Jarrell DeBerry.
That one sure looked good. That was NBA range there.
Mannion doesn't foul Chua. McCants can't
stand himself alone there. That he just sort of. Uh-oh.
Chris Jansen appeared, wanted a timeout. Doesn't get it. He'll have to wait for the under-8 media here. Mid-post extended Chua. Why not go right after Mannion, who has 2 fouls? Buchanan, good ball movement. They find Endear. City. DeBerry is stripped by Endear. Leaking out is Chua. Sprinting ahead, Endear. Finds Keon Jones at 36%. Aggies at 52%. Thanks to high percentage shots like this one. NM State by 12.
League outright. And Aggies won the postseason tournament, but it's what Mark Pope has done is very impressive, and I think it's really raised some eyebrows around the WAC.
That was Ben Nkwasa missing for the Wolverines. Aggies go with Endear, Wilkins, Lofton, Jamario Jones, and Harris. Nielsen, Nkwasa, DeBerry, Ogby, and Connor Toulson for UVU. Splitting defenders, Zach Lofton can't connect. He was right there.
Boy, it was such a beautiful move. I think he was surprised too.
And now he's a big guard too, Coach. He's 6'7", 190. He's a grad student from Munich, Germany, and you'll love this. He already has his MBA. MBAs already.
I'd be more impressed if he had an English
on GPA. Intercepted. The 6'11" Nielsen snatches it in. Connor Toulson to the rim. Jamario Jones pulls in the board. No look feed. A laser pass to Wilkins.
Team and assists.
And he never passes it where his eyes are looking, Coach.
No, he never. He's always surprising. That's one of the unusual things about Jamario Jones. He can catch you off. Let's watch Jamario Jones find the open man here. There it is. John Wilkins running the floor.
Well, they put an emphasis on those screens in the offseason, Coach. They said screeners' feet must be no wider than the screener's shoulder width.
Huh.
So it's something the officials are supposed to be paying very close attention to, and I agree, we're seeing it called a lot.
I'm happy about that. And that's the guy who had Ogby's the player that had 16 when they snapped the...
Wilkins leads the Aggies with 9. He only averages 6. Harris straight away. Much recently for the Wolverines, but he's one of the better players in school history, approaching 1,000 career points. Nkwasa had it stolen.
What defense by A.J. Harris there.
Endear to the rim.
He's relentless and swarming and quick here, and dives on the ball, comes up with it.
It was nearly a jump ball, but the Aggies City 76%. Aggie lead is 9 points. Ogby.
Dribble. He barred the arm, but he didn't push with it.
It's just been busy offensively with 9 points so far. .410 left here in half one. Chua from the elbow. Now to Lofton. DeBerry's guarding Lofton. 4 on the clock for Harris. Lobs it up for Chua. and he gets it up.
Could have dunked it if he'd have timed it a little different. But nice pass by A.J. Harris.
Here's Zach Nelson, low block left. Inside, outside, DeBerry makes his.
Pope's Utah Valley team.
Another big guard for them at 6'5", a transfer in from Kent State, who's from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Lofton jumps to pass for Endier. Pull up on the baseline. Bingo. Now it appears it's the Aggies and the Wolverines, and then you have Grand Canyon and a few other teams really tussling for positioning.
The ball and usually does.
And Grand Canyon is the next opponent for Utah Valley. That's next Saturday. And it's in Orem, Utah. And Wolverines battling back here within 5 points. Lofton was busy early, quiet recently. Gabe Hadley checks in for the first time for the Aggies. A pullback two for Harris. Corey Calvert, another BYU transfer, hard to the rim, and he throws it away. Intercepted by Jamario Jones. No numbers for Lofton. He'll pull anyway. 9 points for Lofton. He's made 2 threes. Final 2 minutes in half one. DeBerry on a pull-up. Short, tipped around. Hadley gets it. Australia starting to play more and more each week.
A really fine job of filling in. He's just a pretty good defender down there, and he's smart. And they haven't missed Manyang as much as
minutes.
It might have. I don't know if it's nerves or the Utah Valley. I bet it's a bit of the Utah Valley defense.
Nikwasa hands it off to Calvert. Just 2 of 17 from 3 for Calvert this year. Jake Toulson back out to Calvert. Has 2 to shoot. Leans into Hadley. No call. Connor Toulson and Nielsen. Final minute here in the first half. Lofton isolated. Double team came. Put it back up. Pinball's out. No good for Jones. Credit. Indoor, but it's been a while. Shot clock off. Isolated set for Lofton. Lofton already has 9 today. Step back triple, shallow. Chua trying to tip it. Picked up by Nikwasa. Ahead for Jake Toulson. Underway in half number 2. Wolverines in the green, the Aggies in the white. Keep a close eye on number 0 in green, Akulda Manyang, who has 2 personals. Only played 11 minutes, did not score in the first half. Connor Toulson to Brandon Randolph. Under 10 to shoot again for the Wolverines. Randolph will step back, straight away 3 shallow. Picked up by Jamario Jones, a 3-on-2 for the Aggies. Lofton inside for Jones. Connor Toulson guarding him in the corner. A find for Lofton.
Making the right decision.
And coaches always tell players, do not jump to pass, right?
Don't jump to pass, especially if you don't know what you're doing or what you're planning to do.
He seems to always figure it out, though.
That's right. Well, again, we've talked about him being the smartest guy in the room.
Brandon Randolph lobs it for Manyang, who is tripped. Jake Toulson, post lob for Manyang. Really looking at him.
Well, this is what makes Utah Valley so dangerous, is that it can all make 3-point shots.
This match is the biggest lead for NM State. Utah Valley has not led today. Lofton in front of his bench. Lofton for 3. Brandon Randolph to Jake Toulson, the BYU transfer. Connor Toulson fakes the handoff. Down the right lane. Floater left short. Gets his own miss. As Coach Bradburn mentioned earlier, his father Andy played in the NBA for 2 years, played for the Utah Jazz. A.J. Harris, a transfer from Ohio State. Jamario Jones bounces for Eli Chua. Man Yang has to be careful, and Chua. Harris tips it away, steals it away. Look out for Endier, who's right behind him. Harris will take it.
Kind of a little bit lazy with the pass.
Man Yang posting up, back out for Jake Toulson. Toulson will launch a three. Ball sideboard for Jamario Jones. And the Aggies really try to pull away now, ahead by 15. A pair of undefeated conference teams. The Aggies trying to make a statement here today. On the roll, Chua. Corner three, Endier. Yes, still runs through New Mexico State. Aggies trying to go to 5-0 in league play, ahead by 18.
Like so many teams, Utah Valley has great balance too. But I do think that as good as Zach Lofton is, the Aggies are better when it's a balanced attack.
Connor, this would be a really nice RPI win for the Aggies. Their RPI is currently 50. The Wolverines with an RPI of 80. So it would be considered a top 100 win. Harris has it poked from behind by Ben Nkwasa. Connor Toulson leads the break. DeBerry from the corner. Say lose in the conference tournament championship game to a Utah Valley. There's a chance there could be two teams from the WAC that get in. But I think it's safe to say the Aggies, if they do not win the conference tournament championship, have a very slim margin for error the rest of the way.
I think that's very true.
Lofton to Chua. Now they find A.J. Harris. Bingo. I do know this. If New Mexico State is in your bracket in March, if the Aggies make the NCAA tournament, you don't want to see them in your first game.
No, that's right. I think that's very true.
Hogby might have been altered by Chua.
Watch Isaac Nielsen go get this in traffic here.
Nielsen, a big body. He is 6'11", the Wolverines. Nielsen, the fourth oldest player in the country at 25 years old. Lead is 19 for the Aggies. Harris nearly slips. Utah Valley in his zone here, and they totally forgot about Lofton, one of the top three-point shooters in the league.
Yeah, I'm not sure the zone is the answer, but I think Mark Pope just trying whatever he can come up with here to try and disrupt New Mexico State.
And that's exactly what Seattle U tried on a Thursday. Nielsen has it blocked away. DeBerry can't stick it in. Seattle U also tried zoning the Aggies Thursday, Coach, and at times it did work.
Yeah, it did, and I thought they had a smart zone. They were long and quick, but just things are not going Utah Valley's ways. DeBerry missed the bunny there.
Skip out to Lofton. Steps back away from Hogby. Here comes Jamario Jones. No look feed. Eli Chua.
I would certainly pay for this one. Jamario Jones. He can really see the Zach Lofton pull up for three here. I mean, it's pretty impressive. Now, how do you guard that one?
And you've said before, he plays like an NBA. It's an NBA move right there with the separation.
Certainly he's a strong, quick, athletic, good shooting guard. I think he just got to keep improving his defense and his passing, and he's going to have a chance.
Utah Valley has not made a field goal in 5 minutes. They missed 8 straight shots. Lead has grown to 27. The Aggies have outscored the Wolverines 21-4 in the half. So they started half one strong and now half two strong as well. McCants to a cutting Buchanan. 6 left to shoot for Eli Chua. Right hand hook, blocked by Nielsen.
Towers here. Let's see if it makes any difference. He's got Isaac Nielsen in at the same time as Manyang.
No rhythm right now for UVU. Randolph swishes in the jumper, and that's going to happen when you fall behind by 27 and the shots aren't falling. A lot of guys standing around and not really moving.
Yes, but let's credit the Aggies defense in this case.
Baseline Chua, the skip for Lofton. Another step back long shot. This
Envelope onto what's a good shot now, but he's in his rhythm and he's completely confident.
21 now for Lofton on 7 of 14 shooting. He's made 6 threes. Connor Toulson. Nielsen, that's a big body.
But Isaac Nielsen is certainly one of them.
Mission Viejo, California native, a BYU transfer as well. Cutting and Deer, fall away, 16-footer. Cleared away by Manyang, who's had a quiet day. No points, 4 rebounds. He averages 14 points and 9 rebounds. And behind 6 made threes. 9 minutes in, half two. Aggies by 26. Zach Lofton. So the three-point shot has been a big key for Chris Jantz's team today.
Yeah, and there's still 11 minutes to go. There's still plenty more basketball to play. Let's not. We're not going to count Utah Valley out. Let's see if they fight back the way Seattle did a couple nights ago.
Jamario Jones continues to find Lofton. Once again, 6 made threes for Zach. He has 6 of the 10 Aggie threes, and this has been a Zach Lofton show. One of the leading candidates for the WAC Player of the Year award. He was making the most of the grad transfer rule. This guy can shoot as well. Connor Toulson, who's off the mark. DeBerry picks up the miss. Inside for Manyang to Nielsen. Flips it in. Big man to big man. 7-footer to a 6'11" post player.
Well, and I wonder if Mark Pope will go with the Twin Tower look here as the season goes on.
That breaks a scoreless drought of over 2 minutes for UVU. Jamario Jones working the high post. Finds an opening to McCants off the window.
McCants was able to go up over him. Unchallenged, really.
Quiet day for this man, Brandon Randolph. 5 points, just 1 assist. He had 12 assists on Thursday, and he averages 11 points a game. Lead ahead for Sean Buchanan. And he throws it.
Year where Buchanan makes a questionable decision. He's utterly dependable for Chris Jans. And one of the better defenders.
Utah Valley has 6 players averaging in double figures for the year. They only have 1 in double figures today. That's Ogby with 13. Statistic for UVU.
When I was about to compliment Zach Lofton on his defense, but
Zach Lofton's game as a whole, he said he came in as a high value.
Chemistry with New Mexico State, with the new coach and the returning players and the new players.
Johnny McCants is not a jump shooter, so when he's open 18 feet away, he will not shoot it. Jamario Jones whips it out for Keon Jones from the corner, a step back.
Him with another, this is his 5th assist of the game.
NM State 11 of 18 on trays. Randolph, a pitch out to Barry. Swishes. Utah Valley not shooting too bad from 3, 7 of 18. Just 34% though from the field. Lofton fires. Tipped out in the hands of Randolph. Here's Jake Toulson, and he stole it away. He read it all the way. Pop out Jamario Jones. Still 6th. Manyang running the floor. blocked away. A pair of undefeated teams in conference play. In their previous 43 conference home games, only loss came last year to Utah Valley.
The only JUCO game I've seen this year, I saw Indian Hill.
2. Harris into the front court for the Aggies. Now handoff to Keon Jones. It appears City's okay. Not favoring his leg right now. The Aggies can use some clock here. Ahead by 23. A.J. Harris, a step back 3. Yes, sir. And every time you... Second half action, Maniang averages 14 points, 9 rebounds. He leads Utah Valley in both categories for the year. And he also has not been a factor defensively. And he's the top shot blocker in the conference. City end here for Keon Jones. City end here. Shoot. Two teams tangling for first place in the conference. A pair of 4-0 conference teams. The winner will have sole possession of first. Lofton to Keon Jones. The JUCO transfer down low. Jonathan Wilkins, who hasn't played much in the half because Wilkins picked up his third personal early in the half, so he's been on the bench for the last. Look at the clock.
That's right, but I didn't think it would be
We're in agreement there. We really thought this would be a tight one today. Utah Valley would be able to chip today. Wilkins gets Maniang in the air. Back out, Lofton. Pulls up. 24 for Lofton. DeBerry misses. Here's Jamario Jones. Gabe Hadley will trigger. Toulson hands it off to Ogby, who's had a quiet half. No points. High at New Mexico State. And now Lofton's posting up on Connor Toulson. Fakes, leans in, blocked away.
Make that anyway, and Aggies might have got a break that he hit it out of bounds.
I think it was clean. It was going up. It was not coming down. Endier for 3. Why not? On to 14 triples. Brandon Randolph, a pump fake and a drive from 8 feet away, slips it in. City Endier with it for the Aggies around a Wilkins ball screen. Slithers around defenders.
If he can keep doing that, the Aggies are going to be hard to beat this year.
Quality day for Endier was 17. So 24 Lofton, 17 Endier, 11 for Wilkins. Also 10 for Chua in double figures. Connor Toulson flips it up and in. City, that's his season high. And M. Stakos with McCants, Endier, Lofton, Wilkins, and Hadley. Nielsen, Randolph, the Toulson cousins, and Ogby for Utah Valley. Lofton to Wilkins, right back to Lofton. He has 2 on the shot clock. Step back 3, 28 feet away, almost canned it.
Wrong today.
Randolph uses the Nielsen screen, bounces off the body of Wilkins.
Fire from the 3, and you'll notice that Connor Toulson didn't have his usual breakout game that he often does. You've got to give Zach Lofton some credit for that.
Final 2 1/4. 7 left to shoot. Jamario Jones keeps it high in the air as he shoots. Utah. The Toulson cousins haven't done a whole lot today. Jake Toulson only has 7. Connor Toulson only has 9. They both average 12 per game. Here's Connor Toulson. Teardrop, a brick.
Look very different when the Aggies have to go up to Utah. It'll be a very different game. I know I said that about Seattle a couple games ago, but this is just a really difficult place for.
During that 97-game stretch at home, have come to UNM, the big rival for the Aggies.
Yeah, don't bring that up around here, though.
Flip in for the first time today for the Aggies, so the bench has been emptied by Chris Jans. With the exception of Joe Garza, who's a little banged up right now. A minute 05 left. Buchanan, Hadley, Keon Jones, Gordon, and Miles right now. A combo that I don't think we've seen all year. Buchanan has 2 to shoot, doesn't get the rim. So now we'll see a little bit of separation in the WAC standings. The Aggies will improve to 5-0 in WAC play. But a statement win maybe today for NM State.
No, that's right, but not a terrible road trip for. They weren't great today, but for Mark Pope's team to go win in Texas on the way here is still respectable. They're right in the hunt.
Hadley for 3. It makes 15 threes. It's Hadley at the end connecting on 1. Nielsen will jam.